Goeiemôre, maar welkom, hoe gaan dit?
Goeiemôre luisteraars, môre nee, dit gaan goed. Ons het mos nie klagtes nie, ons kry net baie.
Ja.
Ja.
Luister, okay, van die Belpark, sjoe. Ek ry mos die pad Val Park se kant toe daar verby Stonehaven. Daai pad lyk verskriklik nou. Dit jy gesien, daai potholes is absolutely terrible. Hassan, good morning to you. Welcome to IFM. How are you?
Well, good morning to the listeners of IFM, and thank you for having me on your show.
Good to have you here with us. We'll probably introduce you now. We're just quickly discussing the amount of potholes after the lovely rain we had, especially daar by Stonehaven. Daai pad lyk baie sleg. Gelukkig Delphos lyk nog goed, Gerda. Delphos lyk nou, hy's wat oorgedoen is, hy lyk nog mooi, nee.
Ja, Delphos lyk al bietjie beter. Daar is 'n bietjie materiaal wat nou gebruik word, but listeners need to remember that we don't take responsibility for the road in front of Stonehaven. That from the bridge up, it's Vrystaat. From this side down, it's us. So
Okay.
there's julle moet spesifiek wees wat se potholes julle oor praat.
Ja.
Hassan kan so 'n bietjie Afrikaans praat. As ek en hy beklei in section 80, dan beklei ons in Afrikaans.
Hassan, how many times have you and Gerda bumped heads? Does it happen a lot?
Well, sworn enemies, but we've decided to bury the hatchet and work for the people of Mfuleni collectively without wearing our political party hats. Hence, even today, I honored her invite for us to come and discuss issues facing the municipality. Yes.
Hassan, let's quickly talk about the municipality, because it is, Van der Belpark is not looking good. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and a lot of things are going really badly backwards. What is the reason for that? Why would you say are things not working anymore?
Well, first and foremost, one must just acknowledge that we inherited a dirty baby as this current administration. And ours was first to investigate what could have gone wrong. Second to that, come up with ways of trying to turn things around. And like I've just said, in our Section 80s, the finance Section 80s, despite different political parties, we always find a way of working with each other. You have Gerda, who has been in council for the past 15 years. We would obviously need to go and consult with her to see or seek advice, wisdom, to say, Gerda, you've been in this institution for so long. What could be the challenges what are the reasons of this particular challenges? And of course, political instability that has been there for some years. I think there has no mayor that has finished his or her term. Over 10 municipal managers.
Sure.
CFOs.
Many acting positions. So that on its own creates instability, and there would be proper handovers at the end of the day. So, that is the thing that has made it difficult for us to rise. But on our side, we've taken a different approach to say we're not going to allow cheap politicking. Residents of Mfuleni are tired of that, there's work in progress as we speak.
You see, because what happens is our listeners, for instance, they would say, but listen, I pay my rates every month and I pay my accounts and I pay, so the money is going into municipality, but it's literally a case of what's happening with the money from there. I mean, are you part of the finance part as well, ne? So is the money spent the way it should be spent, going the right places?
One, let me first acknowledge and accept that residents, especially in the Van der Belpark areas, going right through to Three Rivers, are paying their rates and taxes, and we're grateful for that. However, the finances of the municipality are quite steep. Where we've been facing serious debts with Rainwater, your ESCOM, and many other service providers that have litigations against us. Now we need to find a balance in ensuring that we spread the monies that we receive to ensure that we deal with this particular debts and ensure that there's a smaller service delivery that we do. It has not been quite impactful, but we're getting there. At least we've been able to reduce the rainwater debt by about 50%.
Okay.
And we're working towards setting off that particular debt and looking primarily at the ESCOM debt. But it will also give us a relief once we settle the rainwater debt. We can now channel the money towards service delivery.
Gerda, from your side, is there anything you want to maybe ask or talk about? I was just thinking, we're talking about the Eskom stuff. Am I right? Wat presies met Eskom gebeur?
Ja, Quentin, the mere fact that Eskom is challenging us again for attaching our assets, for one, well, if we do not pay, then it's the action that needs to be taken, because it's a credit control from Eskom. But then it needs to be legally and it needs to be fair towards all parties. And for one, currently Eskom is not fair towards the paying residents.
No.
For the lack of paying from the Mfuleni side, that is why the MMC Finance, Hassan Marco, is here today to give some background on what the action is. Now, I am of the opinion that everybody is speaking about the 1.3 billion that now think that it's a new thing, but it's not. It was attached in 2019. That court order came out in 2019 already, March.
Yeah.
And they did attach a lot of assets and cars. And remember, we were on air, and I showed some photos. Remember that?
Yeah, komt
So Mfuleni at that stage went to court, and they stopped that attachment, and then it was on hold. And then suddenly, out of the blue, Eskom just came and went back to court and uplift that stop order that we had, and now they're executing that specific order from 2019 they are implementing now. And furtherly, they want to go with the 3.5 billion on next year. But that is where I say it's unfair towards Mfuleni and the residents, because there's an internal internal process that needs to take place. We call it IGR. It's intergovernmental relationship. To talk to one another. So one state-owned company should talk to another state-owned company within themselves and try to resolve. And if it doesn't get resolved, then you resort to a different process. So that did not take place. So for that reason, it's unfair. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and not just in Mfuleni, but in other parts of Gauteng, where they are acting upon, for instance, since there's a lot of other residential areas, that they're also not acting on the right process. And I'm not saying that it's not correct what they are doing, but there's a process that needs to take to get to that step. I'm also of the opinion that the debt is at such an amount that it should have already been impaired. Now, by impaired, mean it's bad debt. We will never get to a stage where we can pay back Eskom. Never. We won't. It's too much. And we are paying 200 million of interest per year upon that bad debt.
Yeah,
so impaired debt is like, now we're having an incentive program in the municipality saying, if you are behind, if you're struggling, come to the municipality. Make an arrangement, the 50% or the 30%. Let's help you. And the rest, we write off that bad debt. So that is what Eskom and Rand Water should have already done with that impaired debt. But that's only my opinion. But the MMC can give his opinion.
Yeah, I think Gerda has covered me a lot. Eskom has just been arrogant towards municipalities across the country. Not following proper processes. They've just lost a case yesterday in the Rand West municipality simply because they could not follow the proper processes. And mind you, Quentin, there are taxpayers in Mfuleni that usually contribute towards bailing out Eskom yearly. But as a municipality, Eskom has not exempted us from that. I mean, the National Treasury announced that it will be taking care of some of the debts from Eskom, and why can they say of the debts that the National Treasury is going to be taking care of, Mfuleni who are writing off this particular debt, you are left with this much, come up with a payment plan, and of which we've had a payment plan, which they've obviously refused from 2021 going into 2025, to say we can give you 11 million in 2021, 12 million in the year 2022, 13 million in the year 2023, 14 million 2024, 15 million 2025, and of course taking going into consideration that we'll also be taking some of our equitable share, throwing it into that particular debt, and that they have flatly refused. They simply do not want to come to the table, and they are unfair to Mfuleni as an institution and to the residents as well, because we have good paying residents in this institution, and it appears as if the monies of of this particular residents are being abused, of which is not the case. We are paying them based on affordability. We've paid them an amount of about 2.1 billion just between January and September.
Sure.
I mean, that's quite a huge
You're
amount.
talking big amounts, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst that can happen from Eskom's side then?
Well, you or me? You, go you.
No, I was telling the advisor to me, the executive support, Mr. Lucky, to say we've tried to hide behind the table when it comes to the state-owned enterprises. If you are to look at their tariffs as well, they are quite erratic. I mean, the winter tariff went about over 100%.
Yeah.
Which is quite ridiculous on our side, and we will be getting an expert on our side to actually say, can we look at these invoices? Was Eskom actually billing us quite fairly? And I can assure you, Quentin, that we are going to come out with something there, because every time we want to bring up this discussion or dispute something, they do not want to come to the table. Yes.
Gerda, enigiets wat jy wil byvoeg daar? Something you want to add?
Yeah, the mere fact that there is some discussion around that Eskom is not billing us correctly, yes. But as the MMC has just said, that they are trying to get to the table, that Eskom comes to the table and sit with them and discuss it, but it just doesn't come, they just don't come to the table. For residents, they don't care about that. They just need securing an electricity every day. For businesses, you know how many businesses has closed since the erratic of load shedding, and also of places that's been out without electricity for days. We've got one now in SW2. Apparently it blew on Monday, but it was also due to vandalism. And yet again, it's crime that's picking up again, and it's that time of the year. So they did came yesterday and replace the transformer, but just to acknowledge that no, transformer was faulty and all the oil drained out. So yet again, SW2 and a part of SW5 is again off, and it's also business and is affected. And one thing, MMC, is that we do not get regular updates. We can't. Myself, I speak to the officials and they just say, no, we're waiting for stores, or no, we're waiting for this. So I think if there's a better channel for communication from the municipal side, and we have spoken about this to the residents, then you will have more confidence within the residents. But at this stage, there's none. There's a whole lot of negativity and a whole lot of job losses. And as he said, we are loggerheads. We fight. We fight. But at the end of the day, we get to a solution that's for the betterment of Mfuleni.
But Hassan, I mean, you also stay in Vanderbijl Park, don't you? So you must also feel the negative side of this, you know, the power being out and stuff like that, and the bad roads. It affects all of us, doesn't it?
Unfortunately for you, I live in Sebokeng.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
But you still travel.
Yeah, I travel to Vanderbijl almost.
Which the roads look better than Vanderbijl.
That's unfair.
Look, just coming into this meeting, I had to fight with the acting CFO with regards to the issue of asphalt.
Yeah.
That process, I started engaging on it as far as July is concerned. It's November now. Only 350 bags of asphalt was delivered instead of 30,000 bags.
Yeah.
And I'm quite angry. And the residents that are paying deserve to be angry. But Gerda is correct that there needs to be some coherence between us and the residents. And I'm not going to come here as a politician and be in a position to defend officials. And it's not going to happen, not under my watch. Officials need to start working and need to be held accountable where needs be. Gerda will tell you that in our meetings, I do not defend any official. Officials must respond to what is it that they're supposed to be responding to. Yeah. Because when bad things happen, it's us as politicians that must take the responsibility. And when good things happen, you will see the face of the CFO there and people clapping as no. That would obviously have to be the thing of the past. But we are acting on it. I'm glad to have met Gerda, although we started on a bumpy road, but there's quite some wisdom in her. And I can assure you for the next 5 years, we will definitely make an impact in ensuring that we resolve all these particular matters. was speaking to the large power users thanks to her intervention. The MOU that we have just signed with ArcelorMittal, and many other companies are coming through to say, okay, you've gone with ArcelorMittal, we also want to join you. And I think that that would also change the narrative. But most importantly is to also have these conversations, and not only when there are challenges. Perhaps maybe we can just develop a program, even if it's just 15 minutes, to make proper announcements to say, this is how far we are, this is where we want to go. Give us this particular time frame and take it from there, so that the residents are able to take stock of certain things that are supposed to be happening.
I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things for our listeners and for the people staying in Van der Bijlpark in our area, is literally not knowing when's it going to be fixed and why is it off. The amount of WhatsApp we get per day, it's astonishing how many people are saying, why is electricity off in CW area again? You know, and then we as a radio station, then the first thing I do is I contact Gerda. I say, Gerda, do you know what's happening here? And she says, I'm not sure, let me find out. She gets back to me, and then we give the information to the listeners. But that's an important factor, is definitely for our people not knowing when is it going to be fixed, you know, what is the problem, are they working on it, do they have stock and stuff like that. So yeah, communication very important. Unfortunately, time is getting vang ons so 'n bietjie, Gerda. Anything else I want to quickly ask before we go, what is the future, and I ask this to Gerda a lot of the times because it's funny, she doesn't really know what to say, but what is the future of Van der Bijlpark looking like? Municipality side, are things going to get better? I mean, street side's not working, it's potholes, you're aware of all the problems. What do you think is our future in the Val?
For as long as we're held accountable, the future of Van der Bijlpark looks bright. But if there's going to be a gap between us and the residents, then we're doomed. We need to work together with the residents. Much as they are angry, their anger is justifiable. They are paying rates and taxes. But we need to work together for us to create a better future in our municipality. It will not only depend on us, the political wing. It needs the political wing, the administrative wing, and the community at large, including the business community that has been with us for over a period of years, that is currently stomaching the job losses, creation of jobs and stuff. Yeah, but the future still hangs in the balance. We can definitely turn the tide around for as long as we work together.
Yeah. We also got to say a big thank you to a lot of our businesses that go out and they fill the potholes and they fix the stuff. And I mean, a lot of businesses doing that. That helps you guys a lot as well. Gerda, anything else from your side?
I think the MMC has covered it. I'm just going to hold him accountable for everything he said today. But no, thank you, Quentin. I'm baie dankie. Ek is reg, dankie.
I'll say dankie vir julle. Let's do this more often. I would like to have you over more often and discuss some of the issues. Thank you so much for your time today. I know you're busy and I appreciate you coming down here. And all the best. Let's hope we can get Van der Bijlpark fixed, eh?
No, thank you very much, Quentin. I'm always available. Gerda and yourself can just give a shout. I'll definitely avail myself.
We will do that. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you, guys.